The predator knows the sharpest blade never leaves the scabbard until the mind breaks. Ancient masters taught that the first strike aims directly for your opponent's soul. Viking berserkers howled like wolves and bit their shields to shatter an enemy's courage. They looked like beasts, yet their madness was a calculated weapon of fear. A frozen enemy is a defeated enemy, paralyzed by the phantom of their own death. Paradoxically, the most violent fighters are often those who seek the quietest victories. True dominance starts with a shadow, long before the sun reveals your steel. Roman records tell of tribes who painted their bodies black to mimic spectral ghosts. They settled the outcome in the darkness, turning a battle into a nightmare. Musashi believed that seeing the unseen is the only way to become truly invincible. If you control the rhythm of the terror, you own the fate of the man. But even the greatest predator forgets that sometimes the shadows have eyes of their own. Miyamoto Musashi stands in the morning mist, holding his sword with absolute calm. He does not wait for the enemy because waiting in battle is failure. This is Ken no Sen, the art of taking the absolute initiative. True masters control the tempo before the blades even touch. Being passive in a fight is like inviting a slow death. You must strike the opponent's rhythm to shatter their confidence. Paradoxically, the sharpest blade is useless if your spirit is already broken. Musashi unbalances the enemy's soul before they can formulate one thought. The goal is to finish the action before it has even begun. You take the offensive to command the world around you. Every movement you make is a secret trap for the unwary. But what if your enemy is not a man, but an immovable wall? The Harii tribe knew that fear is the sharpest blade in any warrior's hand. They did not wear bright steel or carry colorful banners into the deep woods. Instead, these warriors painted their skin and shields with a pitch-black midnight dye. They waited for the moon to hide before creeping toward the sleeping Roman camps. To the Romans, they were not men, but a terrifying, spectral host of ghosts. The most disciplined soldiers are often the ones most easily broken by supernatural terror. Night terror targets the brain's ancient primal fear of the unseen and unknown. A legionary can block a sword, but he cannot fight a demon he cannot see. This Teutonic fury used chaos to dissolve the orderly ranks of the mighty legions. Even the strongest shield wall crumbles when the heart inside begins to freeze. The Harii proved that shadows are more dangerous than the sharpest iron edge. But even ghosts must eventually face a master who does not fear the dark. The Emperor's Manual, the Strategicon, treated war like a cold, hard science. These warriors used precise spacing to stop a sudden panic from spreading. If one unit fell, the calculated gap kept the whole army from breaking. Distance was their secret shield against the crushing weight of an ambush. Generals used open space to lure hungry enemies into invisible, deadly traps. They knew that the best place to hide was often in plain sight. Formations were designed so that one squad always watched the unit in front. No soldier could run away, because a second group stood right behind him. Discipline was forced by these eyes that never closed and never looked away. To these fighters, the mind was a castle that must be strictly guarded. They turned the messy reality of battle into a clean mathematical puzzle. Yet even the best math fails when the forest starts to howl like wolves. Imagine a warrior holding a blade sharper than any Roman steel. This is not a tool for killing, but for thinking. Commander William Spears calls this the Stoic knife. It cuts away every single thing you cannot control. Does the enemy's size truly matter to your soul? The knife says no. External threats are nothing to me. Inside your mind sits a ruling center called the hegemonicon. This command post filters every sight and sound you experience. It separates raw facts from the stories you tell yourself. Paradoxically, the less you claim, the more invincible you become. Your only true self is your power to choose your response. But what happens when the world tries to break that choice? Imagine a warrior who never sleeps and has no uniform. In Sparta, the most feared soldiers did not wear heavy bronze armor. They were the Crypteia, the secret shadow police of the city-state. These young men learned to hunt humans in the dead of night. Stealth was their primary weapon to keep the Helot workers in fear. The Spartans knew that one unseen blade is worth 10,000 spears. They prioritized survival skills and silence over traditional face-to-face combat. Wait, the greatest Spartan strength was not the shield, but the silence. A Spartan warrior was never truly off-duty or at rest. They became ghosts to maintain hierarchy through ruthless, cold efficiency. This was the dark side of their legendary discipline and communal power. But what happens when the shadow hunters become the hunted themselves? Every army moves to a secret, internal rhythm of the heart. A great army collapses when its shared heartbeat suddenly breaks apart. Musashi looked for the hidden moment when an enemy's strength waned. Strength is like a tide that rises and falls in every man. A master knows that weakness often hides behind the loudest war cry. To win, you must recognize the exact second the spirit wavers. The master strategist treads down the enemy's rhythm like soft grass. You must squash their intent before the actual attack even starts. A broken rhythm makes a wall of shields feel like paper. Collapse is a shadow that spreads from one soldier to the next. Once the enemy's timing is deranged, they are already defeated. But what if the enemy is also watching your hidden heartbeat? Look into the fire and see the bare-skinned warriors waiting in the shadows. They don heavy pelts to steal the spirit of the great apex predators. A wolf-skin mask blurs the line between a man and a hungry beast. These fighters do not just wear skins. They truly become the animal. Before the fight, rhythmic chants begin to hum through the cold northern air. They dance to the pulse of a shared, ecstatic battle trance. Deep, animalistic howls synchronize their souls into one terrifying force. Surprisingly, their wild rage is a highly focused and disciplined ritual act. Once the frenzy takes hold, the sting of iron means nothing at all. Pain becomes a ghost that can no longer touch their transformed bodies. A line of men vanishes, replaced by an unstoppable wall of teeth. But what happens when the beast refuses to return to its human cage? Imagine a predator waiting in the tall grass for your first mistake. An ambush is a trap designed to freeze your heart with sudden fear. Miyamoto Musashi taught a secret way to turn their own trap against them. This strategy, Tai no Sen, means attacking before their trap can spring. You must take the initiative and charge with every ounce of your power. Paradoxically, the safest place in an ambush is at the enemy's throat. Target the highest officer to shatter the enemy's mind and tactical center. Once the head is gone, the body of the army stumbles and dies. To master this, your mind must flow like a wild mountain river. Pure flexibility allows you to conform to any wall the enemy builds. The warrior who moves first is never a victim of another's design. But what happens when the enemy has no leader left to kill? The ambush does not begin in the shadows of the dark woods. The battle is won in the quiet space of your own mind. Spiritual victory happens before the first blade is even drawn. The unseen strike is a manifestation of your internal intent. To master this, you must step into the power of void. The void teaches you to see things that are not there. You know 10,000 things by understanding only one thing. The deadliest warrior is the one who moves the least. The ultimate secret is to do nothing of no use. Strip away the pride, fear, and the flashy, empty movements. When your spirit is empty, your hands move with speed. But what if the enemy also knows how to strike from the void?